This video is going to be the part 1 of the JavaScript practice programs where we are going to write all these JavaScript programs as you can see. So guys, basically this will help you to understand more concepts about the JavaScript and also improve your knowledge about the JavaScript as well. So if you have not watched the JavaScript tutorial playlist, I have given the link in the description section below, and also a separate playlist I have created related to all these JavaScript programs. Also, I have given the link in the description section below as far as the source code of all these JavaScript programs are concerned, so you can check that source code as well. But guys, I would recommend you to practice on your own so that the knowledge about the JavaScript is improved while you are practicing the different programs. So comment in the comment section below whether you need the part 2 of the JavaScript programs where we will cover all these JavaScript programs in this case. Also make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people. So let us move to the writing of these JavaScript programs over here. So guys, first of all we will see how to add two numbers in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply inside the programs folder, in this case we are going to create a new file. So as you can see, we have this add numbers.js file. Now guys, in this case we are going to create a new function. So for every program that we are going to see, we are going to create the functions inside our JavaScript code so that we can call those functions anytime we want. So guys, over here simply we are going to create a new function, and then we will say add numbers over here, which is going to take two numbers as parameter. So let us say we provide num1 and num2 in this case as the parameters for this function, that is add numbers. Now guys, simply we can provide the return statement, that is num1 plus num2. So guys, over here we want to add these two numbers that are coming as the parameters for this function, that is add numbers. So simply we provide this expression, that is num1 plus num2, and then we return from this particular function the result that we get after adding these two numbers. So guys, how do we call this particular function? Simply by using the add numbers function name. So guys, over here simply we are going to provide the console.log statement, and then we will provide the statement that is the sum of 10 and 20 is, and then followed by equal to operator, and then inside the dollar and the open and close curly braces we are going to provide the add numbers function name over here. So guys, basically this is the function that we are going to call, and the parameters that it is expecting right now is these two numbers, that is 10 and 20. So guys, over here simply we will provide 10 as the first parameter and 20 as the second parameter over here. So this 10 value will be assigned to num1 and the 20 value will be assigned to num2, and then we are going to get the sum of these two numbers as the return statement, which will be printed inside this particular console.log statement over here. Guys, remember that we are using the string literal in this case, using which we can use the dollar symbol, and then inside the open and close curly braces we can provide the value of any variable or the return value that we are getting from a specific function over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal. So we are inside this particular programs folder over here. We use the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file. So as you can see, we have provided the add numbers.js file over here. When we press enter, as you can see, the sum of 10 and 20 is 30 over here, which is the correct sum in this case. Now guys, simply we need to call this function once again in order to get the sum of the other two numbers. So let me just copy paste this line of code over here, and simply I'm going to change the number, that is the sum of 100 and 200 in this case is, and then we also have to change the parameters that we have provided inside this particular add numbers function. So guys, over here we will provide 100 as the first parameter and 200 as the second parameter in order to check what will be the sum of these two numbers. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, first of all we are getting the sum of 10 and 20 is 30 over here, and second time we are getting the sum of 100 and 200. This time it is equal to 300 right now. So guys, basically you can call this function any number of time you want based on your requirement and provide the parameter, that is the first number and the second number, in order to get the sum of these two numbers. Now guys, what will be the output if we provide the two numbers, that is 15 and 25 over here as the first and the second parameter for this add numbers function? Comment in the comment section below what will be the output. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So now we will see how to find the square root of a number in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply I'm going to create a new file under this programs folder. So as you can see, we have the square root.js file over here. Now guys, what we will do is simply we are going to create a new function in this case. So basically we have this function keyword, and then we will say get square root over here. So guys, basically this is the name of the function that we have provided, get square root, and then it is going to take one parameter, that is the number over here, for which we need to find the square root of this number. So guys, inside the open and close curly braces, simply we can make use of the math module in order to return the square root of a number. So basically we use this math inbuilt module over here that is present inside JavaScript, followed by dot, and then we have something called as sqrt. So as you can see, this is the method that can be used in order to return the square root of a number. So we are going to make use of this method over here, which is going to take one parameter, that is number in this case, which is getting passed to this get square root function. So guys, over here simply we are going to provide the number parameter, and the same result we are supposed to return from this function. So simply we provide the prefix, that is return keyword over here. So guys, basically this particular function will help us in order to get the square root of a number that we have provided as a parameter over here. So let us call this function. So simply we will provide the console.log statement over here, inside which we will say the square root of number 4 is equal to, and then simply we provide dollar symbol followed by open and close curly braces, inside which we provide the get square root function, that is the name of the function, and then simply we provide the number, that is 4 over here. So this is the parameter that we are providing to this function, that is 4 in this case. Let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file over here. So guys, we have named the JavaScript file as 01 in this case. Let me just rename it. So it should be 02 over here instead of 01, since the first program that we had written was add numbers over here. So we have renamed this JavaScript file. So let me just select the name of the JavaScript file, that is 02 square root.js file. And when we press enter over here, as you can see, the square root of number 4 is equal to 2 over here, which is correct. So guys, basically the square root of this number, that is 4, is 2 in this case. Let us provide another example over here. What will be the square root of 100 in this case? Let us see what will be the output. So simply we provide the parameter, that is 100 over here for this particular function, and also we have provided the value 100 inside this particular string. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal. So as you can see, we are getting the square root of number 100, it is equal to 10 over here. What will be the square root of the number, that is 20 in this case? Let us see what will be the output, whether it is giving us the floating number or the integer. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so it is providing us a floating number in this case. This should be 20 over here. That's because it is finding the square root of 20. So when we run this code once again, you can see that the square root of 20, it is equal to 4.4721, and so on. We are getting the floating number in order to get the accurate square root of a specific number over here. So guys, basically this particular function is going to return us the floating number and not the integer number without decimals. So basically we are going to have the decimal point, after which we are going to have the required number in order to achieve the precision. Guys, what will be the output when we provide the number 25 over here? So when we call this function, that is get square root with the parameter 25, what will be the output? Comment in the comment section below. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not, please. So now we will see how we can swap two numbers in JavaScript. So guys, basically the meaning of swap is whatever values are present in two variables, we want to interchange those values and print them. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply I'm going to create a new file in this case under the programs folder. So as you can see, we have this swap numbers.js file over here. Now guys, what we will do is, let us say we define the two numbers, that is A, it is equal to 10, comma B, it is equal to 20 over here. So this is the original value for A and B, that is 10 and 20. So in this case, what we will do is simply we will provide the console.log statement, and then we will say before swapping the value of A, it is equal to, simply we will say dollar, and then inside the open and close curly braces we provide the variable a over here, and then we provide the value of b as well. So we provide end followed by b, it is equal to, again we have to make use of the variable, so dollar symbol, and inside the open and close curly braces we provide the b variable over here. So guys, in this way, inside this particular string literal, you can provide the values of the variables as well, and along with that you can provide your supporting string as well. Now guys, let me just save this file now and let us see what will be the output on the terminal. We provide the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file, that is swap numbers.js file. So when we press enter, as you can see, before swapping a it is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20 that we have provided over here. Now guys, we want to interchange both these numbers, that a should be equal to 20 and b should be equal to 10 over here. So there are two ways in order to achieve that. First of all, we can make use of the temporary variable in this case. So over here I have commented out that we can make use of the temporary variable as the first way, and the second way is to make use of the destructuring in JavaScript. So guys, we are going to check both these ways over here, how we can achieve the interchanging of the two variables in JavaScript. So first of all, let us make use of the temporary variable, that is temp. In this case it is equal to, first of all we provide the value of a to this temporary variable. So simply we can provide the variable a over here, which is having the value 10 right now. It will be assigned to the temp variable, and then simply what we will do is we will assign the value of b to this variable a as the next step. So over here we provide a, it is equal to b right now. So guys, basically we are storing this value, that is 20, inside this variable a right now, which was having 10 previously, which is temporarily stored inside this temp variable. And then guys, in the end we can make use of the b variable, and also the value that we had initially stored inside the temp variable, we can copy this particular value to the b variable. So let us provide this temp value over here. So guys, basically this statement will help us in order to get temp, it is equal to 10, and then over here a equal to b will help us in order to assign the value of a variable as 20 right now, because the value of b is 20 over here, and then this assignment to b will help us in order to get the value from temp, and the latest value of temp is 10 right now. So guys, over here we will provide the value of 10 to the b variable in this case. Guys, remember that we are not declaring these variables, that is a and b, once again, since we have already declared at the start of the program. So this is very important not to make use of this let keyword once again while we are assigning the values to a and b over here. So guys, let us provide the console.log statement once again. So simply I'm going to copy this line of code, and instead of changing any of the content over here, simply we will say after swapping, and then the value of a and b will be displayed over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal once again. So as you can see, we have got before swapping a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20, and after swapping a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 10. So guys, we are successfully able to interchange both these values, that is a is equal to 20 now, which was previously having the value of 10, and b is equal to 10 now, which was previously having the value of 20 in this case. So guys, in this way we can simply use the temporary variable in order to interchange the values from both the variables. Now guys, apart from this, we can simply use the destructuring in JavaScript as well. So let me just comment out these 3 lines of code over here, and what we will do is simply by using one line of code over here, we can interchange both these values of a and b. So how do we do that? So we provide open and close square brackets over here. So guys, over here simply we provide the variable, that is a comma b over here, and then on the right hand side, which means we have to provide equal to operator, and then once again we have to provide the open and close square brackets over here, and the value of b, that is 20, we wanted to assign it to the variable a over here. So first of all we have to provide the variable, that is b in this case, followed by comma, and then followed by the a value, which will be assigned to the second variable over here, that is b. So guys, this particular sequence is important right now that we have provided. On the left hand side we have provided a and b, and on the right hand side we need to decide what value should go to this variable, that is a. So the variable a should get the value of b over here. So that is why the first parameter inside the open and close square brackets we have provided b in this case, followed by the second parameter should be a, because the value of a should go to this particular b variable, and that is why this sequence is important based on which your interchanging will happen. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, before swapping it is a is 10 and b is 20, and after swapping a is 20 and b is 10. Now guys, what if you don't change this sequence? Over here you simply provide a and b, so the value of a will be again stored inside this variable a, and the b value will be again stored inside b, which will not interchange the values. So let us see what will be the output when we run this code once again over here. You can see that a is 10 and 20 in both before and after swapping over here. So this is very important that you follow the sequence b comma a over here in order to interchange both these values. So as you can see, a is 10 and b is 20, and after swapping a is 20 and b is 10. So guys, you can use any of the ways over here. Either you can use the temporary variable, in which case there will be an extra variable that you have to use, and in order to avoid any of the extra variables or these extra lines of code over here, simply you can make use of the destructuring in JavaScript in order to interchange two values of the variable. Now guys, this might be a very important program as far as your interview questions are concerned. The interviewer might ask you in order to give one line of code in order to interchange the values of two variables. So you should be knowing about this destructuring in JavaScript in order to answer the questions. So now we will see how to generate a random number in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply inside the programs folder I'm going to create a new file. So as you can see, we have this random number.js file over here. Now guys, what we will do is we can simply create a new function, that is get random number. So as you can see, we have this get random number function name, and then what we have to do is we need to define this function. So we provide open and close parenthesis, and then inside the open and close curly braces we are going to make use of the logic in order to generate the random number. Guys, remember that we are not taking any parameter over here. Simply this particular function is going to return the random number over here. So we will make use of the math module, that is the inbuilt module inside JavaScript, and then followed by dot, and then we have something called as random method. So as you can see, it returns a pseudo random number between 0 to 1. So guys, basically we will get the random number between 0 and 1 over here, which will be the floating number by default. So over here we will make use of the random method in this case, and then simply we provide the open and close parenthesis over here. So guys, this single line of statement will help you in order to generate the random number in JavaScript. So since we are inside the function, simply we will make use of the return keyword over here, so that the random number is returned from this particular function, and then we can access this function any number of time in order to get the random number. So over here let me just provide the console.log statement, and then simply we can make use of this function name, that is get random number. So over here we provide get random number, and then in order to call the function we have to provide open and close parenthesis over here. Now guys, why do we write the function in JavaScript? Since it will be very easy for other coders to understand what functions you have written and what is the task that is getting achieved inside this particular function, and that is why we divide simple task by using functions inside JavaScript. So guys, over here we have provided this particular line of statement that is going to call this function and get the random number being printed on the terminal. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file over here. So as you can see, we have got a random number that is 0.231835 and so on. There is a big number after the decimal point. So guys, this random method helps us in order to get the number between 0 to 1. Now guys, how do we get the number between 1 to 10 over here without any decimal? So simply, since we are getting the number between 0 to 1 by default, we need to multiply this number by 10 over here. So when we multiply this by 10, basically this decimal point will move one step ahead over here, and we are going to get at least one number before the decimal point. Now guys, what will happen is the number will be anywhere between 0 to 9 over here, and then we will have the decimal point followed by the other numbers for precision. So let us see what will be the output when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we have got 0.4 this time. So the original number was 0.04 over here. When we run this code once again, as you can see, we have got 3.04 and so on. We get 1.06 over here. So guys, what we will do is, let us provide this console.log statement inside the for loop, which we can run 5 number of times over here, so that we get 5 different numbers. So let us provide index is equal to 0 and then index less than 5 in this case, and index plus plus over here, and simply inside this for loop we are going to provide the console.log statement. So guys, basically this for loop will run 5 number of times, since we have provided index is equal to 0 up to index is less than 5 in this case. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting 5 different random numbers over here, that is 2.16, 1.14, 1.3 and so on. What if we want the numbers between 1 to 10 exactly, and we don't want these numbers after the decimal point? So over here, before the math random, we have to provide math followed by dot, and then we have something called a seal method over here. So as you can see, it returns the smallest integer greater than or equal to its numeric argument. So guys, basically the next integer will be 3 over here for this number, that is 2. So we should be getting 3 as the output over here, and for this number we should be getting 2 in this case, then 2 once again, and then we will have 3 and then 6 over here. So guys, this seal function is going to remove all these numbers after the decimal point when we provide it as a parameter to this particular seal function. So guys, let us provide this, and for this seal function we are going to have the math.random as the parameter multiplied by 10 over here, so that we get the number between 1 to 10 in this case. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, now we have got all the random numbers without any decimal point. We have 1, 7, 2, 6, 7 and so on. All the numbers will be between 1 to 10 over here. If you want the numbers between 1 to 100, so simply you can provide math.random multiplied by 100 over here, which will be passed as parameter to the math.seal function, so that we don't get any decimal points in this case. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we have got 74, 69, 68, 4, 37. So these are the numbers between 1 to 100. So let me just save this file now. We should be getting the output only between 1 to 6 this time. So 5 times we are going to call the random number function over here. So when we run this code once again, as you can see, we have got 4, 3, 5, 5, 2, which is within the numbers in the dice, that is 1 to 6. When we run this code once again over here, you can see we have got all these numbers within the dice numbers in this case. So this is the number that we are getting, 6, 2, 1, 5 and 4. So we have included the maximum number 6 as well, and the minimum number, that is 1 as well. So guys, in this way you can simply use the math.random function in order to generate the random number, which will be between 0 to 1 in this case, and then you can multiply it by any number based on your project requirements in order to get the specific number that you want with the upper and the lower limits. And in order to remove the decimal points, you have to enclose this entire expression with the math.seal function, so that the next integer can be displayed to you on the console. So now we will see how we can check if a number is positive, negative or 0 in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply inside the programs folder we are going to create a new file in this case. So as you can see, we have this check number positive.js file in this case. Now guys, over here we are going to create a new function, and then we will name it as check number, which is going to take one parameter. So guys, basically this is the function name, that is check number, and then we have the number parameter that we are writing. Now guys, apart from this, you can also declare a function in another way as well. So let us check that as well, how you can write the function. So basically you can simply provide the name of the function that you want to give. So over here we can provide the name of the function, it is equal to, and then simply we can use the arrow function over here. So guys, basically we had learned about the arrow function previously. So in this case, simply you have to provide the open and close parenthesis, and then we need to use the combination of equal to operator and the greater than symbol in order to use the arrow function over here. And then after this we can provide the body of the function inside the open and close curly braces. Now guys, in case if you have a single line of statement over here to be returned, then you can simply provide the expression over here. Let us say we can simply provide a plus b, where we are returning the sum of a and b, which are passed as parameters inside this open and close parenthesis. So this is a single line function that we have returned, which we can simply call by using the name of the function, that is check number over here. Let me just comment out these lines of code. So basically we can provide the name of the function, and then how do we call it? So basically we can simply provide the console.log statement over here, and then we can provide check number, and then we can provide two numbers, that is 10 and 20. So guys, as you can see, we are providing two parameters over here. In this case, the check number function, which is the arrow function over here, will be called, and these two numbers, that is a and b, will be added, and the result will be returned as the sum of these two numbers. So let us see what will be the output in this case. So when we run the node command on the terminal over here by using the name of the JavaScript file, in this case, as you can see, we are getting 30 because 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. So guys, basically you can write the arrow functions as well in this way. So what we will do is, instead of writing this particular function in this way, we are going to write the function as the arrow function over here in order to find whether the number is a positive, negative, or the zero number. So guys, over here once again we will make use of the check number function name. It is equal to, and then inside the open and close parenthesis, similar to how we provide the parameter over here, we need to provide the parameter inside this open and close parenthesis, and then equal to greater than symbol, that is the combination of these two special characters, which will make it an arrow function. And then inside the function body we have to write our logic. So guys, basically we need to check whether this particular number, is it less than or greater than 0, or is it equal to 0. So if this number is equal to 0, let us check that as well. We provide 3 times equal to, so that the type of this particular number is also checked. So guys, when we provide 2 times equal to, the type will not be checked over here. So even if we provide the string as the number in this case and it is equal to 0, then it will be true. But if we provide a string along with this 3 times equal to operator, this will not work over here. So let me just quickly show you that as well. So basically we are going to return 0 in this case, else we will say not 0. So simply we will say return not 0 in this case. So guys, basically we are using 3 times equal to over here. So let us see what will be the output when we provide console.log statement over here, and then we say check number, and then inside the open and close parenthesis, let's say when we provide 0 in this case, which should exactly match with this particular number, that is 0, we should get the 0 as the return value. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, it is saying 0 right now. But what if we provide this particular number as a string? So let us check that as well. We provide double quotes and then we provide the number, that is 0 in this case. So since the type is string right now, it is going to check whether the number that is coming is the type of that number is actually the integer or the string. So if it is the integer, then it should return 0. If it is not the integer, then it will say not 0 in this case. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, as you can see, it is saying not 0. That's because we have provided the string in this case, and it is strictly checking whether this particular number is equal to 0 and whether it is the actual number or not. So this time it is not the actual number, but it is a string. And if we provide 2 times equal to, over here there will be no type checking, in which case even though if we are providing the string over here, still it will match with this particular 0, because internally the data type are getting converted over here, and 2 times equal to will help us in order to get the true expression over here. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting 0 right now, because this particular string value of 0 is equal to 0 over here, and there is no type checking that is happening. So it is very important to understand this difference. You should always be using 3 times equal to if you want to also check the type of this particular number that is coming as a parameter. So guys, I hope this was a helpful program for you, as it might be asked in interview questions, what is the difference between 3 times equal to and 2 times equal to over here. Now guys, moving back to our actual program in this case, we are going to check if the number is less than 0. So basically we will say number is less than 0, and before that we need to return 0 in this case. So basically we are going to return the string that is number is 0 over here, and if the number is less than 0, what we are going to do, we will return the number is negative in this case because it is less than 0. And then if the number is greater than 0, so over here once again we have the condition that number is greater than 0, we can say return number is positive. So over here we will say number is positive in this case. So guys, basically we have covered all the three scenarios over here, and the number can be 0, it can be a negative number, or it can be a positive number in this case. Let us see the different scenarios over here. So simply, first of all, we will provide the number that is 0 over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, number is 0 is getting printed because the actual number that we have provided is 0 over here. Apart from this, let us provide some more scenarios. So let us say when we provide the number that is 56 over here, and for the third statement, let us say we provide negative 14 in this case, what will be the output? So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, number is 0 for the first statement over here, and then we have number is positive for the second number that is 56 over here, and the number is negative for minus 14 in this case. So guys, in this way you can easily write the program in order to check whether the number is positive, negative or 0 by using these conditions over here. And we have also learnt about the arrow function in this case. Simply we can make use of this function name in order to call that function over here. So guys, it depends on your preference whether you want to use the functions in this way over here that we have defined, or you want to use the function keyword in order to define your functions. But you should be knowing the working of both types of function over here. The internal working is same. It is going to help you achieve the required functionality. Now guys, what will be the output if we provide another statement over here, and let us say we provide the number 1 over here? What will be the output? Comment in the comment section below. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So now we will see how we can check if a number is odd or even number in JavaScript. So guys, let me just move to VS Code over here, and simply we are going to create a new file under the programs folder. So as you can see, we have this odd even number.js file in this case. Now guys, simply we can write the function that is check odd even over here. So we have this check odd even function name that we can simply call in order to get whether the number that is provided to this function is the even number or the odd number. So over here we are going to use the arrow function in this case, which is going to take one parameter that is number over here, and then we have the combination of these two special characters that is equal to and the greater than symbol over here. And then guys, inside this we need to check whether the number is positive or negative. So simply we are going to use the logic of the modulus operator in this case. So when the number is divided by 2 and when the remainder is 0, when we divide that number by 2, so in that case the number will be the even number. So as you can see, we are going to check whether this particular number, when it is divided by 2 and when the remainder is equal to 0. So guys, in order to find the remainder when we are dividing two numbers, we use the percentage symbol over here, which is the modulus operator. So in this case, if this particular expression is true, then the number is an even number. So over here simply we are going to return the statement that number is even over here. And then guys, if this particular condition is not true, we can simply provide the else part over here, which is not required, it is not mandatory, since if it is the even number, then the return statement will help the interpreter to go back outside of this check odd even function. But if the number is not even, then only the interpreter will come to this particular section, in which case we are going to return that the number is odd. So over here simply we can say number is odd in this case. So guys, basically this is the program that we wanted to write. This is a very simple condition that is helping us in order to check whether the number is the odd number or the even number over here. So guys, let us just provide the console.log statement in this case, and simply we will provide the check odd even function name, and then we need to provide the number with this. So basically, let us say when we provide the number 2 in this case, which is actually an even number, let us see what will be the output when we save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript JavaScript file over here, and when we press enter, as you can see, number is even is getting printed over here. Now guys, once again, when we provide another number in this case, so let us say we provide the number 11 over here. Let us see what will be the output, whether it is the even number or the odd number. When we run this code once again over here, as you can see, the first statement is the number is even for the number 2 in this case, and for the number 11 we are getting number is odd over here. So guys, in this way, this very simple statement helps us in order to find whether the number is the even or the odd number, and it is one of the important questions as far as the interviews are concerned. Now guys, apart from this particular else statement is not required over here. So even if we remove this else part and simply return the number is odd, then also it should work. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting number is even and number is odd for two numbers, that is 2 and 11 respectively. Now guys, apart from this, let us say we provide another number over here. Let's say we provide the number 52 in this case. What will be the output, whether this will be an even or the odd number? Comment in the comment section below. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So now we will see how we can swap two numbers without using the third variable. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply we are going to create a new file under the programs folder in this case. So as you can see, we have this swap without variable.js file over here. Now guys, how do we swap two numbers? So basically, let us say we have the first number, that is a, it is equal to 5 in this case, and let us say another number, that is b, it is equal to 7 right now. So before swapping, we have the values of these two numbers. Let us print the values of these two numbers over here. So we say before swapping, we say, and then we have this colon, and a, it is equal to, simply we can use the dollar symbol followed by open and close curly braces, inside which we are going to provide the variable, that is a over here, and then we will also print the b variable in this case. So b, it is equal to dollar symbol, inside the curly braces we have the b over here. So let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file in this case. So as you can see, before swapping, we have a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 7. Now guys, we need to swap two numbers in such a way that after swapping, the value for a should be 7, which should come from the b variable, and the value of b must be 5, which should come from a variable over here. So in JavaScript, we have a very simple destructuring methodology. So in JavaScript, we have a very simple destructuring method in order to swap the two variables. So in this case, simply we provide open and close square brackets over here, and a comma b inside these brackets, it is equal to, again inside the square brackets we will provide b comma a over here. So guys, simply what exactly is happening in this case is the value of b will be assigned to the first variable, that is a, and the value of the second variable over here on the right hand side will be assigned to the second variable, that is b, on the left hand side over here. And then after that, if you simply provide the same console.log statement over here after the destructuring operator, simply we will say after swapping in this case, and we are not changing the position of a and b over here. Let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal. So as you can see, we have before swapping a is 5 and b is 7, but after swapping we have a is 7 and b is 5. So guys, in this way, simply by using one line of code, you can swap the two variables. Now guys, this is only possible as far as JavaScript is concerned. So in case you are asked to swap the two numbers in JavaScript without using the third variable, then you can use this destructuring operator. Now guys, apart from this, if you are giving the interview for other programming language such as C, C++ or Java, so what we can do is simply we can carry out certain steps in order to swap the two numbers. So guys, over here, first of all, what you have to do is you need to provide a, it is equal to a plus b over here. So guys, what we are doing is we are finding the sum of these two numbers. So in this case, what will happen is the value of a, it is equal to 5 over here, and the value of b, it is equal to 7. So we are doing 5 plus 7, it is equal to 12 right now. So the value of a will be 12 in this case after executing this line of code. Now guys, after this, what we want to do is we need to find the value of b, it is equal to, we need to take the value of a, that is 12 right now, and we need to subtract the value of b from this value of a, that is 12, and then we need to subtract the value of b from this a value. So over here we will do a minus b. So guys, what exactly will happen over here is the value of a is 12 currently. So over here 12 minus the value value of b is 7 right now. So 12 minus 7 should give us the value of 5 over here. So the initial value of a was 5. Now we are getting that value of 5 and storing it inside the b variable over here after executing this line of code. And then guys, we need to get the value of b, that is 7, into the value of a, which is 12 right now. So what we can do is a again, it is equal to a minus b once again. So what will happen over here is the value of a is 12 right now, and then minus the value of b was 5 after executing this line of code. So 12 minus 5 will give us 7 over here. So in this way, we have stored the value of 5 in the b variable and the value of 7 over here in the a variable, and that is what we wanted after swapping the two numbers, and we are not using any other third variable over here. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again on the terminal. So as you can see, we have before swapping it is a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 7, and after swapping we have a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 5, and that is how we are successfully able to swap the two numbers without actually using the third variable. So either you can use this algorithm, that is 3 steps, in order to swap the two numbers without using the third variable in any programming language, or you can use destructuring in JavaScript in order to swap the two numbers. So now we will see how we can find the largest number among 3 numbers in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply we are going to create a new file under the programs folder in this case. So as you can see, we have this find largest number.js file over here. Now guys, what we will do is simply we are going to write a new function in this case. So we will say find largest, it is equal to, and then we will write the arrow function over here. We are going to take 3 parameters in this case. So we will say num1 followed by num2 and then comma, we have num3 over here. So guys, these 3 numbers we are going to pass as parameters to this find largest function over here, and then followed by equal to and the greater than symbol, since we are using the arrow function over here, and then we need to write the body of the function. So guys, over here simply we are going to check for the condition whether num1 is it greater than num2 and num3. So guys, over here we are exactly checking whether the first number is it greater than the second number and the third number as well. So we need to use this particular condition, that is num1 greater than or equal to num2 and num1 is greater than or equal to num3 this time. So guys, basically we are confirming if both these conditions, that is num1 is greater than num2 is true and num1 is greater than num3 is true, then the entire expression will be true, and simply we are going to return this num1 as the largest number over here. So guys, simply we will return num1 in this case. So you can either return this particular number or we can also return the string as well. So simply we are going to say dollar symbol and then the variable name, that is number1 is largest over here. Now guys, apart from this, we can also check if the num2 is greater than number1 and number3. So again, we are going to provide the else if condition this time, and then we will say num2 is it greater than or equal to num1 this time, and num2 is it greater than or equal to num3 this time. So guys, over here we are checking if the second number is the largest number out of all these 3 numbers over here, and then after this once again we are going to return the same statement but with a different number, that is num2 this time. So over here we will say num2 is largest, and guys, when this particular condition, that is inside the if condition and the else if condition, if both these conditions are false, which means these two numbers, that is the first number and the second number, these are not the largest number. So in the end we only have the last option, that is number 3, which we should return as the largest number over here. So simply at the end of this function we are going to return number 3 is largest over here. So simply we will say num3 is largest. So guys, in this way we are successfully able to write the find largest function over here, which will help us in order to get the largest number out of all the 3 numbers. Now guys, let us call this function. So let me just provide the console.log statement over here, and then we will say find largest followed by open and close parenthesis, and then we need to provide the 3 numbers. So let us say simply we provide 1, 2, 3 over here. Let us see what will be the output. So let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file over here. So as you can see, we are getting 3 is largest in this case. Now guys, over here, which is the correct answer if we check all these 3 numbers. Now guys, apart from this, instead of 2, let us say we provide 22 in this case. So we have 1, 22 and 3. So let us see what will be the output. When we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, now we are getting the different output, that is 22, which is the largest number right now out of all these 3 numbers. And then guys, once again, let us say instead of 1, we provide 108 in this case. So let us see what will be the output. We should be getting this 108 as the largest number. So when we run this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting 108 as the largest number this time. So guys, in this way, this is the algorithm that you can use in order to get the largest number out of all the 3 numbers. Now guys, apart from this, we can also use one of the functions from the math module, that is math.max. So let us check that as well, how we can use that. So over here, when we provide console.log statement in this case, and then we provide math followed by dot, and then we have the max function over here. This is going to take the 3 parameters this time. So guys, let us provide the same set of number. So when we copy this and paste this over here, let us see what will be the output. When we save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file. So as you can see, 108 is largest is coming from this particular find largest function that we have defined based on our logic. But apart from that, if you check the second statement over here, we are getting 108, which means the math.max function over here is helping us in order to get the largest number out of all these 3 numbers. So guys, you can also use this particular function, that is math.max, in order to find the largest number out of all the numbers. Now guys, the advantage of using this second method is that you can provide any number of parameters that you want. So instead of having just the 3 numbers, you can have another number, that is 4th number over here. So let us say we have 400 in this case. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we are getting 400 as the largest number. Now once again, when we provide 501 over here in this case, so again we are getting 501 as the largest number over here, depending on which is the largest number out of all these numbers that we have provided as the parameters. So guys, this is the advantage for this math.max function that we are using. We can provide any number of parameters over here, but the logic that we have written with our function, that is find largest over here, it will only take maximum 3 numbers in this case. So if it is a very simple requirement that you want to achieve with 2 or 3 numbers, you can use this particular custom logic in order to find the largest number. Or else if there are more number of items which you are not sure about, so you can simply use the math.max function over here in order to find the highest number. Now guys, apart from this, what will be the output if we provide 1000 as the number over here in the end inside this particular math.max function? So comment in the comment section below what will be the result of this particular line of code. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So now we will see how we can check if the number is a prime number in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply we are going to create a new file under the programs folder in this case. So as you can see, we have this check prime number.js file over here. Now guys, what we will do is simply we will create a new function, that is check prime, it is equal to, and then we will write the arrow function over here, which is going to take one parameter, that is number in this case. It is equal to and the greater than symbol in order to use the arrow function, and then after this we are going to write the body of the function over here. Now guys, how do we understand what is the prime number? So guys, basically a prime number is something which is not divisible by any other number. So guys, over here, let me just write the description. So we say not divisible by any other number. So guys, basically we have certain assumptions over here, that is the number 1 and negative numbers are not prime numbers. So guys, first of all, we will check this particular condition. If the number is 1 or the number is any of the negative number, then we have to return that number is not prime number. So over here, let us provide the condition, that is if number is it equal to 1 or number is less than 0, and instead of 0 we can also provide less than 1 over here. So simply we will say number less than 1 in this case, since whatever number is less than 1, it is not a prime number over here. So simply we are going to return the statement that is number is not prime this time. So guys, over here we have provided the statement that is number is not prime. Now guys, after this, if the number is greater than 1, then we need to go to the next step over here. So simply we can provide the else part, and then inside the open and close curly braces we have to write the logic. So guys, over here what will be the logic? We have to go through the number that is 2 up to the number that is the number divided by 2 over here. So simply we will say go from 2 up to number divided by 2, that is half of the number, and then we have to divide this particular number that we are checking by all these numbers that we are going through. So guys, over here simply we will say for let I it is equal to 2 over here, and then we will go to I less than or equal to number divided by 2 this time, and then we have I plus plus over here. So guys, what exactly we are trying to do over here is basically we are going up to the half of that particular number, because that can be the maximum limit up to which we need to check whether any of these numbers that we are going through is it dividing the number that we have passed over here. If it is dividing, then it is not a prime number. So guys, over here simply we will check whether this particular number that we are passing to the function is it divisible by the I variable. So simply we will provide the modulus operator, which is going to check the remainder of this division operation, and then modulus operator followed by the I variable is it equal to 0, which means one of the numbers, that is we are going through the number 2 up to number divided by 2, if any of this number is dividing the actual number that we have passed over here and we are getting the remainder as 0, then it is not a prime number. So guys, over here we need to provide one variable. In this case simply we will say is prime over here. Notice that we are using the let keyword in order to declare the variable this time, so that this particular variable is having the local scope within this particular function. So guys, over here by default we are going to say that the number passed is true in this case, and if any of the number inside the I variable over here that we are going through the for loop, if it is dividing the actual number that we are passing, then we are going to say is prime is equal to false. So guys, over here we will say is prime it is equal to false, and then guys, after the end of the loop simply we are going to check what is the value inside the is prime. So guys, over here simply we will say if is prime in this case, which means if it is true, then we are going to say return number is prime over here. So basically we will say number is prime, and then inside the else part we will return the same statement that we had provided over here, that is number is not prime. So guys, over here we say number is not prime this time. So guys, this is the way we can find whether the number is a prime number or not a prime number. So when we save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file over here, as you can see there is no output because we are not calling this particular function right now with a specific number over here. So guys, let me just provide the console.log statement this time, and then let us provide the check prime function name, and then let us provide the number that is 1 over here, which is not a prime number, as the parameter. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. As you can see, we are getting number is not prime, which is the correct answer. If you provide any of the negative numbers over here, so let us say we provide negative 12, so let us see whether this particular negative scenario is getting passed or not. So when we run this code once again, as you can see negative numbers are not prime, and that is why we are getting this particular answer. Now guys, let us say we provide the number 2, which is actually a prime number. It is not divisible by any other number except 1. So guys, this is the main condition. The prime number is the number which is not divisible by any other number except 1 over here, and that is what we have mentioned in this case. So guys, let me just save this file now. Let us see whether the number 2 is a prime number or not. When we run this file, as you can see, number is prime over here for the number 2. When we provide 3, so again this number is not divisible by any other number. It cannot be divided by 2, but it can be divided by 1, but that condition is an exception over here. So it is again a prime number. When we run this code once again, so as you can see, number 3 is a prime number. What if the number is 4 this time? So guys, basically 4 can be divided by 2, so this should not be a prime number because it is divisible by other number. So when we run this file, as you can see, number is not prime. And when we provide 5, so 5 is a prime number. So when we run this code, as you can see, number is prime. What about the number 49? So guys, we get 7 multiplied by 7, it is equal to 49. So this should not be a prime number. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so it says number is not prime. And what about 47? Let us see what will be the output. When we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, it says number is prime over here. So guys, in this way you can simply write your logic that we have discussed in order to check whether the number is a prime number or not. Now guys, apart from this, let us say if the number is 51, what will be the output in this case, whether it is a prime number or not? Comment in the comment section below. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So now we will see how we can find a factorial of a number in JavaScript. So guys, let us move to VS Code over here, and simply inside the programs folder, we are going to create a new file in this case. So guys, as you can see, we have this factorial.js file over here. Now guys, what is the meaning of factorial? So simply let us understand that as well. So factorial of any number. So let us say factorial of 3. How do we calculate it? We multiply this number by the previous number, which is 2. So we multiply it by 2. And then again we need to multiply this number by the previous number, that is 1 over here. So guys, one at a time we need to multiply all the numbers after decrementing its value. Let us take another example over here. So let us say we want to find the factorial of the number that is 5 over here. So simply what we have to do is, basically we need to take this number that is 5, we need to multiply it by the previous number that is 4, and then again multiply by the previous number that is 3, and so on. We multiply by 2, and then in the end we multiply by 1 over here. So guys, the common thing in both these calculations is, in the end we need to multiply all the numbers by 1 over here. So guys, in this case we are going to make use of the recursion, that is the function calling itself, in order to calculate the factorial of a number. So guys, let us create a new function in this case. So let us say we provide the name of the function, that is factorial, and then we are going to create the arrow function, which is going to take one parameter, that is number over here, and then followed by the arrow function, that is equal to and the greater than symbol, that is the combination of these two special characters. And then after this we need to provide the body of this particular function, that is factorial. So guys, over here we need to first of all check whether the number is it equal to 1. So over here simply we will say if number is it equal to 1 over here. So guys, when we have this particular number is equal to 1, then we need to return the result as 1 in this case. So basically we are going to return the number 1 over here. And then guys, simply by using one line of code over here, we are going to calculate all these numbers, and that line of code is simply we need to provide the return followed by the number that we have got. So guys, over here first of all, let us say if we call this particular function, that is factorial, with the number 3 in this case, so this number will be taken, that is 3 over here. It will be multiplied by the previous number. So how do we find the previous number? We simply need to subtract 1 from this particular number that we have got, which is 3 right now. So guys, simply we need to do number minus 1 over here. Now guys, repeatedly we need to multiply by this particular number minus 1. So what we can do is, simply we can pass this number minus 1 expression to the factorial function over here, so that next time when the interpreter goes again to the factorial function, number minus 1 will be equal to 2, and then once again 2 will be multiplied by the previous number, that is 1 over here, and then in the end the factorial function will receive the number is equal to 1, and it is going to return the result as 1 over here. So guys, let us understand the working of this as well. So basically we are going to have factorial of number minus 1 in this case. So guys, this is the complete function in order to find the factorial of any number in this case. Basically for the example that is 3 over here, what will happen is the factorial of 3 will be called in this case. So basically when this number is equal to 3, is number equal to 1 over here? No, in this case. So basically this particular expression will be calculated. So let me just copy this and paste this over here. So factorial of 3, it will be equal to number multiplied by factorial of number minus 1. So what is the value of number? It is 3 right now, which is getting passed to the factorial function. So 3 multiplied by factorial of number minus 1. What will be number minus 1 over here? It will be 3 minus 1, that is 2 this time. So guys, basically the factorial of 2 will be called once again, in which case it will be checked whether number is equal to 1. No, in this case, because number is still 2. So basically we need to copy this particular expression and replace this factorial of 2 over here. So this time the number is equal to 2. So we need to replace this number by 2 over here, and then factorial of number minus 1. In this case the number is 2 right now. So 2 minus 1, it will be equal to 1. So over here we replace this particular expression by 1, and when the interpreter calls this factorial function once again, the number will be equal to 1 now, and we will get the result as 1 as the return value. So guys, over here factorial of 1 will be replaced by 1 over here. So we will have this particular expression that will be calculated, and it should be returned by this particular function due to this return statement over here. So 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, it will be equal to 6 this time. So guys, let me just comment out this particular explanation over here. Simply we can call the factorial with a specific number that we want to find the factorial of. So over here let us provide the console.log statement, and then we will say factorial of number 3 is, and then followed by dollar symbol, and then we need to call the factorial function inside the open and close curly braces along with the number that we have defined, that is 3 over here. So guys, basically it will say factorial of number 3 is, and the result that we are going to get from this particular function that we have defined. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal by using the node command followed by the name of the JavaScript file over here. So as you can see, factorial of number 3 is 6 over here. That is what we had calculated in this case. What will be the factorial of number 5? So let us check that as well. When we provide factorial of number 5 is, and then we need to provide the number 5 as the parameter to this factorial function. Let us save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, factorial of number 5 is 120. We can verify this by using the calculator as well. Simply we can manually find the product, that is multiplication of all these numbers. So basically it will be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1 over here. So as you can see, we are getting 120 in this case, and that is what we have got the result over here. Now guys, what will be the factorial of the number that is 7 in this case when we provide the parameter as 7 to this factorial function? What will be the output? Comment in the comment section below. Let us see whether your answer is correct or not. So please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to talk about how to take user input using read line in JavaScript. So stay tuned.